After doing my first two keyboard reviews, I kind of like just sat there and thought about like what a keyboard needs, and so just like a side rant here before I do the review of these of the RK 87. Every keyboard I feel like needs to have like a bare minimum, like like a bare minimum as in like things that a specific keyboard or every keyboard should have, right? Like for example, for $20 to $100 to a $200 keyboard, they need to have um, these specific requirements met, right? And so, I mean, one of them is just functionality, right? You're typing, you just gotta make sure it works, right? There's no lagging, there's no whatever. But outside of the basic ones, there's two or maybe three that I want to just bring up and just kind of talk about really quick. The most, I don't know for some reason why, but there's certain keyboards that still come out. Uh, there's certain keyboards that come out that just still don't have adjustable feet, right? Adjustable feet, if you guys aren't aware, are these things in the back right here that allow you to have a different angle or different degree of the keyboard, which helps with the ergonomics, right? Which helps you with typing. To me, this is important. To some, it might not be, but to me, it is important. This rubber stops right here in the back, right? Attention to detail. You put it on, say, because if you're not like me, you don't want to use the mouse pad. Say you put it on something like a wooden table, right? It prevents it from sliding, but at the same time, like this is not going anywhere. Um, but at the same time, right? I feel more comfortable when the keyboard. Sorry, you can't see it on this camera. Let me fix this. But I feel more comfortable when the keyboard is raised slightly higher, right? If it's flat and if it feels like a laptop, then I have to raise my hand and type like this, which I don't really feel like doing. To me, at least, it's not comfortable. Right? The point of having like an external keyboard is that you could actually adjust it to however that feels comfortable, and so I don't know why some keyboard manufacturers still don't have the ability to change that, right? To have feet. I feel like if you're spending $100 on a keyboard and it doesn't have that, it doesn't have the feet feature, right? Or to raise the keyboard, then you just got ripped the fuck off. That's number one. Number two, there's certain keyboard manufacturers that still don't have USB Type C charging port. Uh, don't know why. I feel like that should be a standard by now. It should have been standard like 5, 10 years ago. Okay, not 10 years ago, but you know what I mean. It it should be a standard by now, but it's apparently not. Logitech and like Corsair, they're guilty of this because a lot of the keyboards they made for like a while back, they were still using micro USB, and they're charging like $200 for keyboards, which didn't even make sense to me. Yeah, like something so simple, just make everything USB C. I got an Android phone, iPhone, please go to USB C. I think they're coming out with USB C iPhone next year, not by choice, by the way. So, but anyway, point is, make sure you have USB C. It's not so hard. If you have a wired keyboard and it's detachable, make sure that's USB C as well. Like, don't stop using proprietary. Stop using micro USB. Just go with USB C for now. And lastly, if you're, I don't like having cables. If you're like me and you want a wireless keyboard, you gotta make sure the wireless keyboard is both Bluetooth and has the capability to use a USB receiver like the 2.4 gigahertz. That is really important because I work from home. The government computer that I have does not allow you to use Bluetooth. Even if you plug in like a Bluetooth adapter, you still won't have any Bluetooth, right? So um, I need to use this keyboard wirelessly, and if I only have Bluetooth, then it limits that. Every wireless keyboard should have the capability of using Bluetooth and a USB receiver. And again, it's not too much to ask. I got this keyboard for $38, right? I got this keyboard for $38 used, and it's like it has these features. So I don't understand why like keyboards are twice the price of this, much more expensive, don't have that feature yet. So it's just something I wanted to say. And I'll talk more about that a little bit later, but let's just go right into the review of this. Maybe I should just start off with the price. And actually, you know what? Let's just talk about some of the things I like about this keyboard. I said like the feet area and all that stuff. Um, Number one, right? If you are planning to use this keyboard wired, then it gives you two additional USB hubs on the very top right here. As you can see, they're USB 2.0s, USB A 2.0. So they're not like, you know, the fastest and the greatest or the latest, But you know, the option that you still have that there is pretty cool. If you want to use this wired with a wireless mouse next to it, or I guess you could plug in a headset here, a USB headset, that'd be cool. But it does have to be plugged in wired, so that's the only way the keyboard could communicate with the computer. And then the other thing that I like is that, you know, for the price range, you're beginning to see a lot of keyboards that come hot swappable. Now I was going to do a little type test for you guys, but obviously you could tell that these aren't the original key switches or the keycaps or the key switches. I guess I was saying, if you look, I have translucent keycaps, but you can see I have red switches and then blue switches right here. That's just my personal preference. When I type, I like to have red switches here, the keys that I press the most, and then when I'm not, or when I'm using keys that I rarely use, I like to actually feel the tactile bump, right? So, for example, like when I'm typing, let me put my mic closer. But then I have keys on the side right here, like Windows keys, Control, Alt, my up and downs. I personally prefer that to be blue switches, but that's the benefit of having hot swappable, which is one of my favorite features of any keyboard. You gotta have a hot swappable keyboard because chances are, if you're buying a keyboard and there's something you don't like about it, you're gonna have to return the whole keyboard. If there's like just the one feature, the actual functionality feature is, you know, you don't like the switches, so the switches are garbage or something, or you don't like the keycaps, you should be able to swap that out, right? And which brings me to my next point, right? This keyboard is so customizable, that even if you spend $30-$40 later down the line, you could start like, this is I don't know if it's like the gateway drug of keyboards, but you could start customizing it to whatever you want it. Like if you don't like the ping noise, you don't like how the switches feel, or you want, for some reason, you know, like me, you want blue switches and red switches, or I don't know, you want to change the keycaps or switches, or this frame is removable, so you want to paint it. All right, let me remove this really quick. This frame is removable. It's not magnetic, but it's okay. I mean, it is a budget keyboard. But check this out. Now you have like floating keycaps, right? Now you have this floating design. Some people prefer this. They like the look of this. I personally don't. But yeah, the biggest feature about this keyboard that I really like is that you have the option to customize almost everything about it. It's not a full aluminum frame. It's all plastic, but I don't really care that it's all plastic. Some people do. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Things that I don't like about it, I think it's only like one or two things. The feature that I hate the most actually is this. The on and off switch is on the back. Most keyboard manufacturers actually have it on the side or on the top, but the fact that you still have it on the back is just kind of annoying. I don't see the purpose of that. Like, I think iRock has it on the top right here. So it would have been nice to see that. It gets annoying every now and then. You have to switch from Bluetooth to USB receiver, which is the right hand side right here. So this little switch is for Bluetooth and receivers. But yeah, so every now and then I have to pick it up and, you know, switch to Bluetooth the receiver, or pick it up like this and then switch the power on and off. It's kind of annoying, but whatever. I mean, I live, to be honest. And then the second feature, which is the worst feature, I would say, is the battery life, right? The battery life on this keyboard is about 1850 milliamp hours, which for me, I don't really like RGB. Some people do. So I get away with like 2 weeks without charging. It goes to sleep automatically, so I don't really have any problems with that. Let me see if I could turn the RGB stuff on. I think it's this. Yeah. Yeah, I think the RGB is fine here. Some people... Let me see if I can find the rainbow one. Yeah, I don't know. If you're into this, then sure, you're going to lose battery life. And the fact that it's 1850, you won't really get to show it off as long as you wanted to. But sure, if you're into RGB, then it has that capability. So I don't really care about it, so I'm going to turn that off. And I think that's about it. I don't know if people really care about the structure or not. I know some people, when they do like a test on keyboards, they like to bend it and stuff. But bro, it's not that serious. It's just a little typing. I'm going to switch it over to the desktop. Let's see what the price of this keyboard is right now. See, look, you see me right now. I'm turning it on. This is the Royal... No, this is RK87. And again, I'm gonna say this like a million times over and over again, but the benefit of having a hot swappable keyboard is that it doesn't matter if you get brown. Wait, this looks off, but it doesn't matter if you get brown switches or black switches or red switches or blue. It doesn't really matter because you could change that later. So my advice would be, I'm pretty sure this keyboard is a little more pricier than this, but I'll double check. But my advice would be to just get the cheapest one you could find, right? Sometimes the prices are different. I got mine on used, very good condition for $38 with taxes and everything. So you get that, and then all you have to do is just eventually upgrade these switches to whatever you wanted to switch to, or just use it until, if you don't have money saved up yet, just save some money and swap out the switches later down the line if you don't like it. But you have that option, right? So you're not really just like pigeonholed into this one bucket of, damn, now I have to buy a whole separate keyboard because you want a different switch. RK, I'm pretty sure the price was like a little bit higher than this. It's not. There you go. Oh, that's not it. This is it right here. But I'm not really sure what the difference is. This says 80%. This says 75%. I'm pretty sure about this one. Tactile brown switches. Whatever. I'm pretty sure I bought this one. But I bought this one used, and every now and then you'll find a used version of this. Let's see. Yeah, so these are just multiple switches. So just get whatever that's cheaper. If it's on sale, get the one on sale. It doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, you could always swap it out. Seeing if I missed anything. Oh yeah, it does come with an extra frame. So if you decide to customize your keyboard, let's say you want to paint one of the frames, then I don't know, you don't like it and you want to go back to the original stock one, at least you have a spare one. So which is really cool. I don't think this thing mentions the milliamp hours if I remember correctly, because I was looking for. Yeah, it doesn't mention it. Oops. My bad. I got my Alexa connected to the computer. Yeah, I mean, I guess it could read reviews on these. But I was hoping to see something about the battery life, but I know it's not the best. This guy's saying his battery life is between 6 to 8 hours. 6 to 8 hours of usage is a lot. Actually, to some it might not be, but yeah, 1850 is pretty bad. Most standard keyboards actually come with like at least 3000. I think the RK84, which I have, which was my main driver, by the way, this one right here, comes with at least 3000 milliamps. Yeah, 3750. All right, before I end the video, I do want to give this a rating. So I already created an Excel sheet to just kind of go over the keyboards that I've used in the past. I just made this. I need to keep adding more keyboards that I've tried already. But the RK, this one's 84. The RK87, this is the biggest downfall here, the battery. But yes, adjustable feet, is hot swappable, uses a Type-C charger. It has a full shift key. That's important to me. This right here, let me switch over to the keyboard view. This right here, this is really important to me because a lot of the premium keycaps that I've bought or used or experienced with don't really have the shorter, I don't know, was it 1.25 or 1.75 size key? So having a full size shift key to me is important because I do prefer to switch over to these specific keycaps. These are from HyperX and they're my personal favorite. So that shift part is just really important to me. But to you probably don't care, then you could just ignore this section. But if you do, then just know that the shorter version of this keyboard, the RK84, with a bigger battery, unfortunately does not have a full-size shift key. And then they all use wired Bluetooth and 2.4. This is a must. So I give this keyboard a 4.5 out of 5. Same thing with the RK84. Give this a 4.5 out of 5. And then the iRock, I'm going to do a review on that probably soon. But I also give that a 4.5. So more on that later. Thanks for watching. I don't really like to edit my videos, so my bad it got so long. But, hopefully you don't mind.